Gonzaga's going to win, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I would say so.
Don't you have that stat that only one seed is lost, and that was Duke?
135-1.
Yeah. This.
One seed has lost. It was Virginia.
Oh, Virginia, right. What was I going to say? This is the only team in NCAA history to have 3 players in the top 25 win award race. It's impressive.
Very.
They have 3 NBA players on their team. Ready to go. And I talked about this last time, but for those who you weren't listening to a regular show, I know this is special edition. I know this is prime time. Last time Duke and Kentucky both were out of the tournament was in 1975. And that same year, Indiana ran the table, went undefeated, and won the big dance. So shout out to the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Hopefully they win it because we kind of want them to. But without, they're going to win this game. There's nothing to say about it. You skip over it. For the 1 seeds, for the most part, we're just going to skip over them, boys and girls. There's a lot of games we got to get into. The next one, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be Oklahoma versus Missouri, 8 versus 9 seed. We're going right through the bracket, the way you read it on your computer. You're not going across. You're going straight down and to the left side. This is going to be the Sooners versus the Tigers. We're going red and white jerseys, black and yellow jerseys. You want to talk about some suits? I got suits for every single coach. Every coach, hairstyles, whatever you need. Old school suit guy for Oklahoma. But he could have a heart attack because he's so old. Missouri coach, from what I noticed, scrolling through Google, scrolling through old tape, almost always wears a matching tie with his home and away jerseys. A little something you might want to look into.
Oh, that's big time.
I love it. Dude, you're going to love some of these. I didn't know you didn't get a chance to read them all. You're going to love some of these. The last time and the only time these two met in the tournament was in 2002, and the Sooners won 81-75. Who do you guys like? If you guys have a reason why, let me know. Let's start with Morgan. What do you got?
I like Oklahoma. I was on Oklahoma earlier this week for conference-type games and everything. I stated on our last episode of Betting Diagonal that I like Oklahoma because they were only a top 10 ranked team only a few weeks ago. They ran into a little bit of a tough stretch. However, I think they're the better team. They're a more consistent team right now. And I just think they can take them down. Plain and simple. I'm not going to go crazy with it. But yeah. I'm not going to go nuts. I'm going to go with what my gut says on this one.
Greggy, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to side with Morgan here as well. I like Oklahoma.
I got to switch.
You're starting that already? You're starting that already? Yeah, but I like Oklahoma to take down Missouri just for the fact that Oklahoma is the more consistent team, like Morgan said. The Big 12 is a ton stronger than the SEC, I would say. And, I think they got a good lie here for the fact that they're an 8 seed starting out against a 9. I mean, actually, I think now that I look at it, they got a terrible lie for the fact that when they beat Missouri, they're going to have to go up against Gonzaga. And nobody wants to do that until it's a championship game. So I think they get through Missouri just for the fact that they have a pretty upperclassman-esque team. With Brady Manick, Austin Reeves. These guys are bad men. When it's time to take these boys to the hard court, they make it happen. And they're playing team outside the Big 12, so I think they're going to fare well.
Yeah, I'm on the same side, and I do think, for all the reasons why you guys are, I'm not going to get into it. If I disagree, I'll state my reasons why. I think that actually I don't hate their live against Gonzaga. I think out of this whole region, they're probably the most equipped to beat Gonzaga because they do have the experience and they do play as a team and they do play defense.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Gonzaga eventually beats them. But if Gonzaga can get past Oklahoma, I think it's pretty smooth sailing for them to get into the championship round. The next one, we're gonna go right into that dreaded 5 versus 12, and I know we talked about this a lot right before we started recording. This is our second favorite game, second favorite 5-12 game for sure.
Mhm.
Creighton Blue Jays against Santa Barbara Gauchos. I think it's I'm not really sure what a Gaucho is. It's blue and white versus blue and gold for those people who just choosing colors. Um, Allegedly, Doug McDermott's a racist. Neither here nor there. I didn't say it. The media said it. Santa Barbara, the coach is like a plain suit guy. You know, it's not like he's like a Men's Warehouse suit guy. He's not tailored. It's nothing special. You know, plain blue tie. Very simple man.
Love my meat and potatoes kind of guy.
That's all he is. That's all he is. Creighton got embarrassed in the Garden the other night to a scrappy little Georgetown bunch. And Santa Barbara's a top 100 team. They're ranked 89th in the country, like as far as like the true rankings go. They really had no problem beating anybody in their conference. They let one slip, but besides that, I don't see any mishaps with them. What do you guys got? Let's start with Greggy.
Yeah, so I have UC Santa Barbara for the upset win here. In terms of spread on this game, it's 7. So I think that's way too much. Santa Barbara, they can shoot the ball. And supposedly so could Creighton until they couldn't halfway through the season. And they've just been in a slump of all slumps. And, they struggle to put up 60 points on nights now. It's crazy. So I'm going to take Santa Barbara for the win here, 12/5. I think that they step up for the occasion.
Morgan, what do you got?
This sucks. I also like Santa Barbara to win this game. As I'm kind of rolling through it as well. Creighton's coming off of just an embarrassing shellacking to Georgetown. Santa Barbara has been playing very well. I have some interesting little tidbits about Santa Barbara. One of the things I really like right now is they protect the ball a little bit more than Creighton does. Right now, going head to head, turnovers per game, Santa Barbara will be 10.8, whereas Creighton would be 11.1. So it's not a huge difference, but that one turnover there could be, that's going to be a 3-point play very quickly going on for them, for each team. Creighton, on paper, should be the better team, but I think with everything, all the outside noise going on with McDermott, with just getting embarrassed by Georgetown, that's a fragile team right now for sure. So I'm going to roll with Santa Barbara.
Yep. I mean, I'm on the same thing once again. I promise you guys that listening, we are on separate sides for some of these games. It's still early. Don't worry. I am on the fence about this. I think it's an iffy game because I do think that Creighton could bounce back. But like you said, that outside noise, they haven't scored 60 points since that quote happened. Like people like say, "Oh, it's just noise, just noise." It's not always just noise. Like that gets in the heads. It gets in people's heads. I don't like it. I don't like it. It smells fishy. 5 versus 12 is always fishy. This is a year that last year I brought up that stat. They usually sweep the table. In 2019, not last year. Rest in peace. In 2019, the 5 seeds went 3-1. So I think this could be a year that they sweep the table again.
And fun fact about a 5 seed: the 5 seed is the only top 8 seed that has never won a title.
Ooh,
interesting.
Ooh, yes,
I like that.
Only seed of all time that has never won it. Back in the most recent before that was the 7 seed UConn in 14 was the other one that had not won.
That's not Kemba's team.
Not a Kemba team. That's a Shabazz team.
Shabazz Napier.
Yeah. You got us excited though. Tell you that.
I know I did. I was holding that one in the holster, just waiting to see you two perk up a little bit.
Let's kick it right into the potential team that might not even play. It would be the Virginia Cavaliers versus the Ohio Bobcats. The Ohio Bobcats that beat our Buffalo team that we were so high on, loved them, but they came up to the occasion. Virginia's in that blue, white, and orangish, sporting the classics, and Ohio's in that green and white. There's something about that green. I don't know. I don't really like it, but Tony Bennett always comes fresh, tailored suit, always looking good. And I have no idea who the Ohio coach is, but he looks like he got his suit at Macy's. So just watch out for that one, boys and girls. Just a side note about Virginia, they don't plan on traveling to Indy until Friday night because of COVID. They need to quarantine first just to get there, and then they have to test on Friday night and Saturday morning because they have a 2:00 game. I think the coach said it was on ESPN before.
It's 7:15.
7:15 game. Beautiful. So they do need to have 2 days of COVID-free tests there and 7 days clean. Who knows if they can do that? Virginia's the slowest team in the country. They went back to it. In the middle of the year, they were starting to pick up some pace, and they just decided, hey, we're going to slow it back down. Dead last and pace of play. Morgan, what do you got? Tell me why. You don't have to tell me why.
I'm going to be on Virginia in this game. It's an interesting game because they're two polar opposites. Ohio is a big, high-scoring team. Virginia is more of a defensive team. Ohio scores 80.4 points per game. Virginia only gives up 60.5. It's strange. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. I think where it'll come down big time to is the experience that Virginia has had in the tournament the past few years is going to go a long way. I know they don't have a lot of those, guys who've been there as long anymore, but they have a coach who has been through it, who has won a title recently. Another thing I think will be really big in this game, Virginia has a higher defensive rebound per game at 24 rebounds per game. And their turnover percentage is lower. It's about a full percentage point lower than Ohio's is. So it's going to go a long way. I think this is an easy Virginia win.
Greggy.
Yeah, I guess this is our first disagreement.
Thank God.
And we love to see it. I'm going to go with the Bobcats in this game. A little 13-4 upset action. I was really impressed with how they played against Buffalo. I was really impressed with how they played against Toledo.
Fuck Toledo.
Fuck Toledo. They suck.
They hurt my feelings.
I agree. They hurt my feelings as well because I thought we were going to see a Toledo-Buffalo matchup for the MAC title. We did not because Ohio had something to say about
Toledo in the tournament.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry. They're almost a lock to win the NIT, bro. Almost a guarantee.
Yeah. But I think Ohio's scoring is going to be a problem for Virginia. Although Virginia has that lockdown defense, and sure, they take up a ton of clock on the other side of the ball on offense, I think it just comes down to Ohio hitting more shots. And the X factor in this game for me is the point guard matchup. For the fact that Jason Preston, that ball runs through him all game long. He's a 6'4" point guard who reminds me a lot of LaMelo Ball. The way he plays, the way he looks, he's got a lot of LaMelo Ball in him, and he's going up against Kaihi Clark all game long, who is 5'9". So there's a 7-8 inch differential in height there, and I think Preston's going to blow by him the majority of the game. And I think that's going to cause some foul trouble for Huff in the paint. And I can't even pronounce this other guy's name. Van something.
Just try it. Try it out.
Oh, God.
Come on. See?
Yeah, I don't even have it in front of me anymore. But he's a problem as well.
Not that much of a problem.
He's a problem. I think this Ohio team is going to be a problem for Virginia, so I'm going to take them on the upset.
I don't hate that, especially the fact that they won't be able to even get there. They might be a little jet lagged. They might.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't hate that. I'm gonna have them in one of my brackets, but for the big money one I'm in, I'm keeping it safe. I'm taking the better team. I'm taking the team that faces the major conference, team with the experience, team with the guy who can afford a tailored suit. I am going with Virginia and the Cavaliers on this one. Um, even though the Virginia pace, we'll talk about it more when the game comes up. Even though the Virginia pace is stupid slow, they've hit the over 4 more times than they hit the under this year. So I don't know what the number set at. Doesn't really matter tonight. We're not talking gambling. We're talking brackets. There's a play-in game for the next one. I don't want because we'll talk about it on Tuesday. Just because we're gonna have most likely have a play on it because we're gonna miss college basketball so much. Just tell me who you think is gonna win that, and then we'll move on to the actual matchup. The first play-in game is gonna be Wichita versus Drake. Who do you guys got?
I got Drake.
Morgan?
Wichita.
Oh, I have Drake. All right. So since we have the
I hate
matchups,
to see it.
Morgan, since you're the differential, let's start with you. According to you, it's going to be USC versus Wichita. So it's going to be the Trojans versus the Shockers. Red and gold versus gold and black. I don't know what kind of suit the Wichita man wears. I'm assuming it's decent, because they've been relevant. But the USC coach, slightly ugly, with a nice classic suit, nothing crazy. But his wife, Morgan, you're on a computer, right? Go Google his wife. Smoking hot.
Smoking.
USC leads the country in dunks. They have the Mobley brothers, both going to be NBA players. Do you guys think that, Morgan, since you're first, do you think that Wichita is going to be able to beat USC?
No, not a chance.
Do you think that Drake would have a shot at beating USC? Huh?
Actually, I jumped the gun big time there. I do have Wichita State taking down USC. I don't know why. I went against myself real quick. I do have Wichita State taking down USC, and I had a reason behind it too. Where'd I write it down? Give me one moment. I'm looking up this wife now,
right.
so
whatever.
Fucked me up a little bit.
Who cares?
Here we go. So no, I got it. I'm back. All right. So fun thing with 11 seeds, right? So 11 seeds since hold on, I just closed my tab. 11 seeds since the 2011 tournament are basically 500. They're 20-20 against 6 seeds. It's a wash.
I said before.
Yeah, I'm repeating it.
Oh, take my stat.
Yeah, I'm repeating your stat because that's a huge stat to me. And I think Wichita State can take down USC. I do not think that USC is as good as it come out to be. Evan Mobley is going to be a phenomenal NBA player. However, his youthfulness and aggressiveness, I think, can get him in trouble in a game like this against a team that has seen some success in the tournament previously under the coach that they have. They don't have those guys there, but they have had guys. They stay there for 4 years who have been on some of these teams that have made the tournament. They know what to do. They can get Evan Mobley to commit and get into silly fouls very early to get into his head a little bit. I think Wichita State can win that game for sure.
All right. Greg. All right. Like I said, I'm on the other side. I think Drake's going to win that game. And if they do end up winning that game, I would take Drake to take down USC for the fact that I think that Drake is a better offensive team. Defensive side of the ball, I think Mobley versus Brody is a good matchup.
It is.
I think it's a really, really good matchup. I think Brody's somebody that can give him probably one of the toughest challenges he's had all year. Problem with Brody is he gets himself into a ton of foul trouble. Almost every single game, he has either 2 or 3 fouls by halftime. So that's something he's going to really have to commit to in this game is not, draw fouls from Mobley early on. I think Drake has the better guard play. And like I said, they're the better offensive team. And I don't see USC, putting up like 65, 70, more than 65, 70 points. I really don't.
They struggle to put up points.
They do.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago when I gave you the stat that most of their unders hit. If it's under 1 38, I think it was. Its number. It hits every
I have
single
it
time.
right here. Oh, no, I don't have it because it's not available, clearly. Yeah, I just think Drake's the better team. And I think that if they do get through Wichita State, that they move on to the 32.
Yeah, I don't hate it for either matchup, to be honest with you. Wichita State knows how to get to the line. They run it inside out, so they drive the ball a lot and then they kick it out. So, you know, Mobley, I've noticed he does tend to reach. He does tend to jump. So if they get to the line, get him in trouble. There's not much else out there. Like they do have players. It's obviously a major conference school, but they've grown so accustomed to playing with him all the time, or one of the two. So I'm going with the upset too. I don't know. I'm on the fence with who wins that Wichita Drake game. It's gonna be a very good game. I gotta do more research into it, to be honest with you. Let's kick it to the first 3 seed. We're gonna talk about bird on bird violence. The Kansas Jayhawks against the Eastern Washington University Eagles. Have that classic Kansas blue versus the red, white, and gray of Eastern Washington University, which actually, at the gray jerseys, the roster gray jerseys, I like it a lot. Bill Self, classic man. He's done this a million times. He's packing 12 suits for this. He's ready to go. The Eastern Washington University coach, classic suit, but every now and then he rocks the jumpsuit. So don't be shocked if he rocks the jumpsuit and the team's wearing the gray and red. I'd be worried. I'd be worried if I was Bill Self. That's all I'm saying. Let's kick it back to Greg. What do you got for me?
Yeah, as much as I would love to have an upset in this game, I don't. I'm going to go with Kansas in this game for the fact that I do think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to come down to the last couple minutes of the game, but I think that Kansas ends up pulling away. Watch Eastern Washington. They don't have a player over 6'8" on their team, and arguably the best player on Kansas's team is David McCormick, who is their 6'11" center. He's a big man, and he's going to give them trouble in the paint. He's going to eat up the glass. So I think Kansas is going to win, but if Eastern Washington wants to win, they better be hitting their shots from the outside.
Morgan.
Yeah, I am on Kansas as well. Again, like I said previously, and I'm sure I'll say 1,000 more times, you have tournament experience. You have a tournament-winning coach in Bill Self. That goes a crazy long way in my book. Additionally, let me just bring it back real quick. Like I said, I think that Kansas is a significantly better team. Eastern Washington shouldn't be here. Kansas is a strong defensive team as well, and one thing we've always talked about that really goes a long way for us is your offensive rebounds. Kansas has 30.2% offensive rebounds, whereas Eastern Washington is down around 22%. So you're looking at least an additional 5 possessions right there for Kansas in this game, which is going to go a long way. And then you just factor in the fact that the significant talent gap that there will be, that's all you need right there. Talent goes a very long way in a single something like this.
All I was going to add was going to be just the talent gap is just going to be too great.
Talent. And speaking of talent, because I haven't given a fun fact in a little bit now, let's talk a little fun fact about some talent, right? Boys, did you know out of the last 39 national champions, 37 of them have had at least one McDonald's All-American on their roster?
Ooh, that's not bad. Yeah. I like that.
You know who has a McDonald's All-American? Kansas does.
Kansas.
You know who doesn't have one? Eastern Washington.
Sounds like one bird is going to violate another one. So it sounds like to me.
It certainly does. Rock chalk, Jayhawk.
Yeah, for me, I think Kansas is just going to. Greg, you said it's going to be a close game. I think for the first half it'll be close, and then I think just the talent and then just the rebounding are just going to take over, and it's going to be a 15 to 20 point game by the end of it.
Yeah, like I said, it's all about if Eastern Washington could hit their shots from the outside. If they try driving, it's not going to end up well. Kansas is going to, if that happens, Kansas is going to jump out to a real early lead, and they're not going to be able to get it back.
Let's move on to the number 7 versus number 10. I wonder if we're all going to be on the same side for this one. We're going Oregon Ducks against the VCU Rams. Green and white versus black, gold, and white. Shaka Smart's former favorite team. The Oregon Ducks, the coach, white t-shirt, white dress shirt, green tie, always. It's all he wears. He represents well. The VCU coach, no idea what his name is. Every picture I saw on the internet, his shirt was soaked in sweat. Guarantee you changes it.
That's my kind of coach right there. My kind of coach right there.
Personally, I'm going to go first. I'm calling for the upset. VCU, I love them. I don't think that Oregon really, they didn't do anything to impress anybody. You know, they had a very quiet 20-6 season. You know, I think I watched maybe one Oregon Ducks game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've just been, their overs hit like crazy. 17-9 to the over. Just a little food for thought. You know, I think maybe the only way I see VCU not winning this game is if Oregon just runs the score. They just can't miss. But VCU's a top 35, I think, defensive efficiency team. So I'm on VCU, guys. Greg, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm on the same side. I'm going for the upset here. I think VCU. I think I don't want to say that they're the overall better team. Oregon has some good aspects to their game. They have a lot of upperclassmen presence, transfer presence in Figueroa. But I think the VCU pulls this out. I think they play good defense. I think their offense is enough. And the way that Oregon played in that Pac-12 championship game, it was real disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, Pac-12 semifinal game, should I say.
I know what you meant against Oregon State.
Yeah.
Something that I did overlook in the Pac-12, because I didn't really watch much of it, because I think it's a bullshit conference that's just full of frauds. Mm-hmm. My personal opinion has been my personal opinion for years. Oregon State apparently was a moneymaker in conference play, and I completely missed it. So by the time I found out, they were already playing in the semis, and it was too late. There's no money to be made. Morgan, what do you got for us in this game?
I, too, am on VCU. I think, just as I'm going to spout off in a second, just looking at their statistics, you could very much make a case that these two teams could flip 7 and 10 seeds. VCU could be a 7 seed. Mm-hmm. Every statistic that I am looking at, whether it's offensive or defense, favors VCU. Average scoring margin, assists per game, rebounds per game, offensive percentage. We'll go to the defensive side, points per game allowed, field goal percentage, offensive rebounds allowed, defensive rebounds allowed, blocks per game, steals per game. Everything leans VCU. So I like VCU to win this game.
Yeah, I think I do agree. Like, they should have been swapped. So I was a little shocked. Like, obviously, I've been looking at the bracketology for weeks. I'm like, there's no way they're going to put Oregon at a 7 or an 8. It's just not going to happen. They're just a mediocre at-large team. We haven't really played anybody. But here we are. So I'm looking for another upset. The last one in the Western region. The Iowa Hawkeyes going against one of my favorite teams to watch on YouTube. The Grand Canyon Antelopes. We got black, yellow, and white jerseys against the purple and white, and I know Morgan loves the purple jerseys. Big purple fan. The coach for Iowa, he's like a young Jim Boeheim. He's got 2 kids on the team. He rocks a lame, boring suit. But the problem is, the coach from Grand Canyon can't even afford a suit. His uncle gave it to him 20 years ago. He's a young coach. It looks like he's always confused. Always confused. Always like questioning a call, like got this little, what are you doing? What is that? Kind of look on his face. I don't trust him. But Morgan, I want to ask you a simple question. Could the purple jerseys prevail and pull the upset against an Iowa team who can't play no damn defense?
No.
Okay.
No, there's no chance. This is a very one-sided game. I love purple so much, but it's the exact same thing as I just said with the VCU Oregon game. Every statistic, offensive and defense, leans Iowa significantly, and there is no way a Player of the Year candidate is going to allow his team to go out in the round of 64.
That's fair. That's fair.
Plain and simple.
No, that's
Keep it
sometimes
simple,
it's,
stupid.
I'm telling you, man. Some of these things, it's just like, yeah, you're overthinking it.
Yep.
You know, purple jerseys, not enough. Greggy,
Not enough for me.
Yeah, I am on the same side. I think Iowa wins this game. I think they do it pretty handily too. The only caveat that I saw was that Grand Canyon holds teams to 29% from 3-point range, which that's a solid percentage for defensive metrics. But I think the volume is going to be too large, and I think they shoot it. Iowa, that is, shoots it too well to be able to contain it to that low of a percentage. Grand Canyon's forward, he might even be their center at the point. They have a relatively small team, but he's second in the country in field goal percentage at 70%. All depends if Luka Garza feels like playing a little bit of interior defense.
He never does.
No, he never does. But he likes to play offense. That's what he does real well. So
Number one scorer in the country.
Incorrect.
Yes.
Luka Garza is not the number one scorer in the country.
Go look it up.
I did before the show.
Who is?
I'll pull it up right now, boys.
It is Max Abrams of Oral Roberts University.
Oh, okay. How many points per game is he scoring?
24.2.
Wild.
It is Max Abrams. Actually, Luka Garza is actually in third.
Mm-hmm.
How much is Garza?
23 point something.
23.7. Max
Out
Abrams.
of all the other relevant teams on that list,
the next most relevant player,
Lauren Christian Jackson,
probably Ayo Dosunmu at 21 points per night, or 20.9.
So no other team that plays anybody. Yeah, he's the best scorer in the country. What you saying?
Right. In this game, he is the best scorer.
I love it.
Oh, shoot, I'm on 10% here. This is not good.
Oh boy, we're gonna lose Greggy for a bit, and he's gonna come back most likely.
Mm-hmm.
We're going before we get into the. I'm on Iowa. It's as simple as that. They're just better. They're not good enough to make a championship, but they're good.
It's a meat and potatoes pick.
Yeah, sometimes it's that easy. Greg, why don't you try to switch to your phone and get it set up?
I tried. I couldn't get on Skype.
Oh my god, this kid. Whatever. You can take your headphones out and plug it in. We'll deal with it. This is a fucking 3-hour show. We're almost 45 minutes in. We'll do what we got to do. We're gonna keep on rolling. If you're listening, that was the end of